Welcome, Crusaders, and thanks for joining me for Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. We're back here at camp after our adventure at Leper's Smile. I did a little bit of crusading to kind of clear the road ahead for us. But now we're back here talking to Wilser. The quartermaster flashes you his usual grin, but it fades almost immediately. What a march, Commander. I won't forget it, not in a million years. I can't stop shaking whenever I think about the Leper's Smile. We lost too many good men. Spirits are low in the camp. Some soldiers can't shake off the horrors they've seen. Others are mourning their friends. What if we held a wake, lit up the bonfires, poured some wine, raised our cups in memory of the fallen? It'd do the troops a world of good. Yeah, we'll commemorate the fallen. Give the soldiers some wine, but not enough for them to get smashed. Never, Commander. Everything will be proper, solemn, and with due respect for the fallen. We're mourning the dead, not celebrating a wedding. Alright, we're going to take care of selling some stuff to him and then figure out what's next. Okay, well, it seems like there's not a whole lot really as far as like stuff in the journal to do before we really just push to Dresden. We've got the Heaven's Edge location to visit with Dayron, and then there are a couple other locations that popped up on the map kind of between here and there. The other thing that we didn't do was go kind of down below the Leper's Smile. Last time we kind of popped our heads in the underground area and decided not to venture in there yet, but I may go ahead and do that before we try to head to Dresden. So we're gonna rest and get our party together and head out, and then hit those three areas, and we'll see how far we get. Maybe then push towards Heaven's Edge with Dayron. Before we head out, let's check in with Anivia here. She's not got anything new for us, it looks like. Let's hit the road. We're not gonna bring Dayron just yet. We're gonna figure out some other things here along the path to Heaven's Edge, and then we'll come back and get him if we do indeed head up there. There is a demon army kind of in between here and there. This army here. I cleared out kind of some of the weaker demons up through here, but we still got this one, which looks like we may need to deal with before we can get up here. First, this underground hideout actually we probably can't get to without going through this as well. Yeah, we need a road over here. All right, let's go to this inconspicuous camp. I'm not really expecting a big fight here at this campsite, but go ahead and get some buffs on. You never know when a demon's gonna pop in out of nowhere.
My will is resolute.
Okay. Krynek. Or some more elven notes for storyteller. Krynek. The aged kobold sitting by the small campfire greets you with an amicable gesture. He doesn't reach for his weapon or hiss threateningly. All in all, his behavior is highly unusual for one of his kind. His clothes look quite unusual too. Not many kobolds opt for human clothing, nor do they adorn their possessions with spikes or scales. Greetings, my name is Krynek. I'm all alone here, so you may safely come closer. He speaks smoothly without the usual kobold hissing. Moving slightly aside, the kobold points to the carcass of a small animal on a stick, roasting over the fire. Dinner will be ready soon. Ember. Whoa, I've never met a talking lizard before. Well, back in the River City, we had a real dragon. Are you a dragon too? Can you turn big? You flatter me, young lady. Many of my fellows would give up everything to become dragons. Some even entertain themselves with fantasies of already being such. But I'm proud to be what I am, a kobold. Nothing more, nothing less. Who are you? As I've already mentioned, my name is Krynek, at your service. The kobold offers a short bow, an unusual gesture for one of his kind to make. As a rule, kobolds do not express their respect to anyone other than dragons. I am a traveler and a friend to the crusade. I can be your friend too if you are tolerant toward kobolds. Krennic utters the word tolerant with shocking ease, as if he is something other than the narrow-minded and savage subterranean beast you expect him to be. Kobolds are infamous for worshipping dragons and despising all other races, and few of them would even understand the concept of tolerance, let alone subscribe to it. Sela, the crusade has many unusual friends, but even I haven't met anyone like you before. I'll be glad to see a kobold in our ranks. Sela smiles amiably. Oh no, don't get me wrong. I have no intention of marching within the Crusader ranks. Still, I hope that my humble assistance will be of use to you. Wait, what did you just say? Tolerant? Are you sure you're a kobold? Ah, so you saw through my disguise. Krennic tried to mislead you with sweet words and then ambush you. The kobold utters a loud hiss, which then morphs into an amused chuckle. Of course I'm a kobold. Trust me, you are not the first to be shocked after hearing me speak and realizing that I'm not going to rob or kill you. I'm lucky. If representatives of other races want to be seen as intellectuals or decent conversationalists, they have to read a lot of books, refine their manners, possess a passing knowledge of classical theater, and douse themselves in fine perfume. Whereas in my case, all I have to do is not lunge at you with a spear or hiss every other word. Was it you who left me that note? The kobold shrugs. Of course, who else could it be? I wanted to make sure you were interested in the information I can provide. What are you cooking? Judging by its ears and hind legs, it's a hare. The kobold casts a dubious glance at the animal's mouth, which boasts a set of huge teeth. Or maybe it's a tiger. Depends on your point of view, I suppose. What do you want from me? I want nothing from you. I'm asking for nothing. I'm simply offering help. I sympathize with your cause, so I would like to provide whatever support I can from time to time. Does that work for you? The kobold stops and looks at you expectantly. How exactly can you help me? With advice, mostly. Throughout my life, I've seen a lot, and a piece of timely advice can be extremely valuable, don't you agree? Of course, if your advisor is a kobold, the merits are not so obvious, but you're in luck. This kobold right here has extensive knowledge of a variety of matters that you may find useful someday. After some thought, he nods toward the campfire. One more thing I have to offer is this hare, after it's cooked. How do you know so much about demons? Krennic gives you a long and heavy look. I've had some experience with them. I don't want to go into the details right now. All I'm saying is that after a rather short and not even hostile encounter with them, I stopped eating meat for several years. What's the catch? No catch. I am acting for wholly altruistic reasons, but my motives are something I would rather not reveal. Krennic turns his face to you and his wrinkles become more visible in the glow of the fire. We just met 5 minutes ago. Don't you think it's too early to expect complete candor just yet? As I have already told you, I am a friend of the Crusade. You can choose to trust me or you can leave. I offer help and ask for nothing in return, so the question is simple. Will you accept the claw of friendship from a stranger, or is your distrust stronger than your need for help? Well, we turned away a whole group of Hell Knights. So, one kobold. We'll have to see. I think we'll appreciate any help you can give us. You don't seem like such a terrible guy. Krennic nods agreeably. Then we have a deal. You won't regret your decision. Just drop by my camp every now and then so we can have a word. Perhaps I'll be able to give you some useful tips. Okay, pulling out a small knife, the traveler carefully cuts off 2 strips of meat from the roasted hare. He throws one into his toothy maw while graciously offering the other to you. A strange animal for sure, but it seems edible. The energies of the whirlwind mask everything in illusion. Harmless-looking animals try to eat you for dinner. Dangerous paths appear to be straight roads. And your enemies, sometimes your enemies can look like your friends. Krennic squints and looks deeply into your eyes. Have you ever been in a situation like this? First, you think a person is your friend and ally, but then the scales fall from your eyes and you realize they're actually your sworn enemy. So you catch this person, you tie them up, and then you start thinking, how should you treat them now? Like your enemy? Like your former friend? It's hard to decide. What would you do if one of your friends turned out to be a traitor? Ugh. Wow. Are you talking about someone specific? Wow, your question reeks of paranoia. No, I'm not talking about anyone specific, and I'm not implicating anyone. The kobold chuckles. I'm sorry, it seems my joke has spoiled your sleep for the next few nights. Well, boy. Another moral dilemma here for Zeke. He's really torn between the good and the lawful. This little interaction here seems like it could be some foreshadowing of something to come. And we may be very well faced with this actual choice at some point. Well, you know, if they've lost their way, they must be saved. We need to help them return to the path of righteousness. Did some cleric tell you that? And have you ever seen even one of those who returned to the path of righteousness? Stop listening to others and use your head. We're not talking about children here. The decision to collaborate with demons is a little different from yanking on the family cat's tail. To make such a decision, a person would have to be a truly vile scumbag. Oh, just where do you people get this beautiful naivete from? Something in Krennic's voice sounds merciless, like cold steel. If you catch a traitor, grab them and shake them till they spill everything they know. Some need to be tortured. Others will crack if you threaten their family or bribe them with promises of mercy and gold. Wring the traitor dry like a rag mop and think about war, not ethics. At least that's what smart people write in books. The fervor fades from the kobold's voice, but subtle glints still flicker in his eyes. Well, yeah, when you're jeez. I guess you might be right. What matters most is doing what's best for the cause. Kobold shakes his head, pretending not to care. Maybe I am right, maybe I am wrong. I was just sharing my opinion. Then again, if we're discussing traitors, it's fortunate that betrayal is not reserved for mortals alone. Demons stab each other in the back far more frequently. The rumor is that there are at least 2 demon stashes within Dresden, filled with arms and supplies that were stolen by Deskerites from Baphamites, and vice versa. One of them is near the entrance to the fortress, while another lies by the entrance to the citadel. And where did you learn that? Gossip, hearsay. The world is an ocean of chatter, and I am quite a skilled fisherman. Well, that is valuable information. Of course it is. I wouldn't waste your time. Cracking his knuckles, Krennic gives you an inquisitive look. I hope that when the time comes for you to make real decisions instead of hypothetical ones, your wisdom won't fail you. Just one bad choice can turn a revered leader into a disgraced pariah. I've seen it happen before. I lived through something like that. My tribe suffered a disaster caused by just one bad choice. Can you even imagine? The kobold squints sadly, his shoulders slumping a bit. With a sigh, he begins to talk. I don't like telling this story, but it might be useful for you to know it. Perhaps it will serve as a warning. Will you tell me? Krennic clears his throat and starts talking in a sonorous voice that reveals his experience as a bard. I was born into the mighty and proud tribe of the Night Ruby. Our caves were vast, our mine shafts were rich in quartz and metals, and our underground lakes were brimming with fish. And of course, we had plenty of slaves. The Night Ruby was a model of kobold success. It was a tight-knit, greedy, and aggressive tribe that intimidated even a few of the nearby human settlements. But there was a flaw underlying our power. Once long ago, a leader of our tribe signed a pact with devils, promising them the soul of every tribe member in exchange for help and prosperity. Since then, every new All-Watcher had to agree to the pact, and the power of the tribe grew, as did the number of lost souls. It was like that until our leader, Ermac, came to power. She was a principled and proud elder who didn't want to bend the knee to hell, so she refused to sign the pact, and all kinds of calamities befell our tribe. The tribe was attacked by its neighbors at the devil's instigation. Epidemics broke out, then our slaves rebelled. They came after their former masters in the dead of night. Our clutches of eggs were ravaged, our altars were desecrated, and our warriors were slain in their burrows. The slaves paid us in full for our cruelty and arrogance. They hunted us, chasing us down through the caves and mine shafts, level by level. When we were finally left alone, we had no idea where we were. All we saw around us was darkness, and lurking in that darkness were bloodthirsty and dangerous predators. After raising his voice dramatically, Krennic suddenly stops. Then he adds with a teasing smile, I think this moment is enough of a cliffhanger to stop here. Okay, I have a question about demons. You mentioned you know a lot about them. What is the demon's main weakness? It's a fact that they are hostages to their own nature. And by their nature, demons are just a bunch of mad apes, a grotesque parody of ordinary chaos. You don't need to make a bunch of apes angry, you just give one of them a banana and arm the other with a stick. They'll kill each other without your direct intervention. Do you know anything about wounds inflicted by demons that first appear, then disappear, and later reappear again? Do I need to resort to platitudes such as the weirdest tricks can be expected from demons, or can I just skip that part? I've never heard anything like you're describing, but new sorts of nasty stuff appear in the world wound every day. However, if we think about it some more, don't you think that this wound doesn't cause enough trouble to be something the demons did to you on purpose? When you are hit by the magic of the abyss, you know instantly that death is coming your way, and fast. How do you know so much about demons? Krennic gives you a long and heavy look. I've had some experience with them. I don't want to go into the details right now. All I'm saying is that after a rather short... Okay, he already told us this. Turned him into a vegetarian. Okay. Have you heard about my unusual powers? I've heard you're either extremely lucky or quite the opposite. You survived the massacre in Canabras just to spearhead a new suicide mission. On the other hand, you survived then, and most likely you will survive now. Good luck in this noble endeavor. Okay. Good luck. I believe you'll need it. So we can come back to him, I guess, and find out more what he's got to tell us. Anything else back here?
March ahead.
Another rabbit he can eat. Okay. Let's see. It almost looks like let's travel up here and see where this node leads. Oh, okay. So if we want to get to underground hideout, looks like we'll have to deal with this demon army here. But Heaven's Edge appears to be open. So oh, we've got recruits available. Good. Let's do that real quick. Grab the max on those. And let's go ahead and grab some more clerics. Bring these guys up as far as we can. See if we can connect up with our main force. But it sounds like really the stack of doom for our army makes more sense than trying to field multiple armies here. Harkens back to the earlier Civilization games. I believe it was, oh, maybe it was up to Civ 4, I think. Marching a huge stack around the world. Generally what people did as opposed to having several armies. Alright, that boosts... Well, we're getting close here to another level. She did level up once and I picked up Bull's Strength here. That gives a boost to attack and damage. But another level here will be good. So that makes... We're still level 5. Don't know if we could take on this army here. Okay, so they're out of movement. We'll leave that for another time to head up here and try to hit this army because it looks like we can get over here to Heaven's Edge. So let's grab Darren. Leave Sosil. And then we need to rest. Okay, we picked up Darren and rested. Let's head over here to Heaven's Edge. Leoder Hawkblade is supposed to be meeting us here. Or maybe he's just going to be lurking here watching. Oh, okay. Just us now. Interesting. Everybody's here. All right. Interesting that we had to grab Dayron to come here. Everybody's going to be here anyway.
My not so numerous, but nonetheless dearest guests. About a year ago at my last birthday party, I assured you all that I nurtured a deep-seated hatred for boring people who give protracted speeches in the misplaced belief that their inner thoughts are of any interest to anyone but themselves. Now I am a whole year older and also a full-fledged crusader, an honorable position that requires me to be as dull, pedantic, and vexing as I possibly can. Therefore, a speech it is.
Okay. Don't like speeches, but you're going to go ahead and do one anyway.
The revered cleric Nestrin, my guardian and tutor, often told me that those who live a sinful life may expect to join the abyssal hordes after they die. This is why their path is the most despicable of all. A part of their soul may return to Mendev in the abominable form of a demonic invader. Every time we see a demon, we might as well think about it. What if this wretched creature used to be your great-great-grandfather? What if certain parts of this pointy-tailed beauty used to belong to your pious cousin? They say that the demons represent the sins of the souls they are made of. Succubi emerge out of lustful souls. Vandals turn into Abracandilu. Gluttons become Nabasu. I, for one, am determined to commit as many different sins as possible, so that the distributive mechanism of the abyss breaks when it tries to decide what to do with my soul. You, my dearest guests, will be my assistants in this complicated task. Eat, drink, and indulge yourselves in whatever vices you can. Let nobody leave this house as righteous as they entered it. Live every day like it's your last. After all, nobody knows when that day will arrive, do they?
Dayron smirks, finishes his wine, and tosses the glass to the ground. Oh boy. I'm not sure anything good is going to come of this. There's Hawkblade. How interesting. Inquisitor Leoder whispers in your ear from behind. Did you find anything interesting? Nothing, really. I just took note of a few things. I attempted to find out whether anything unusual or mysterious has happened to the Count over the last 10 years. During my conversations with his acquaintances, 2 people noted that he never speaks of the revered Nestrin, the priest of Iomedae who was his guardian and tutor. Yet he just mentioned Nestrin in his speech, whatever that might mean. You told me that you tried to find out if anything odd had happened to Dayron over the last 10 years. Some of his servants complained about strange occurrences in the house, like objects moving by themselves or candles going out. Of course, that could simply be a figment of their imagination. It is also very well known that the Count often invites various spellcasters to entertain him and encourages them to use their magic in mischievous ways. Practically the whole of Mendev knows the story about the 3 drunk wizards and their teleportation race across the roofs of Canabras after a party at the Count's house. What I'm trying to say here is that any fluctuations in residual magic at his house are not at all surprising. There was the matter of the abduction, however. A gang of bandits kidnapped the Count, hoping for a ransom, but the only reward they got was death. Afterward, the Count told everyone that he had hired the bandits himself as a joke. The other mercenary squad that freed him and executed the bandits was also in his employ. Nobody really wanted to delve too deep into this case after confirming the identities of those wretched cutthroats. But there was one disturbing fact about it all, and I don't mean the Count's bizarre idea of fun. The mercenaries who supposedly freed him had also cut off the bandits' heads after they had already killed them. Is this what those severed heads are for that we're carrying around? Their heads were cut off? You mean the bandits who attacked Dayron? Yes, perhaps I wouldn't have even noticed this detail had I not visited Heaven's Edge right after the tragic incident. I remember that we also found several headless bodies, both of guests and demons. We thought they had been decapitated during the fight. So, has Darren been chopping off heads, and that's how those have been ending up in our inventory? Yeah, my companions have been finding severed heads among their belongings recently. Strangely, things like this weren't a problem before Darren joined the party. What? That is an alarming coincidence. Now we have another reason to conduct an investigation. It is crucial that we find out what exactly happened at that tragic feast. What do we need to do, Inquisitor? Now that's the hardest part. I need to dive deep into the past of this place, which requires casting several different spells over some time. It would be very convenient for me if nobody interrupted the process, especially the Count himself. I don't think he remembers my face, but a suspicious stranger casting unknown spells might attract his attention. All in all, what I want you to do is to distract the master of the house. Right now he's playing host in the very place I'd like to start with. Okay, how do I distract him? I don't know, maybe your companions can assist you somehow. Or you can take a look around, perhaps there's something that can help us. Alright, understand. Good luck. Come back to me when the Count leaves. I will tell you everything I managed to find out and maybe even show you something. Interesting. So we need to come up with a distraction. Seela, yeah. Slow down there. I'm worried about her. She's going to be throwing him down. Alright, we got Darren hanging out here with his naked courtesans. Maybe before we talk to him. Who else is here? Camellia.
Godspeed.
See if you can help with this. I adore this estate. So much beauty, so many quiet nooks. Alright, she's not gonna be any help. Seela, you never know when or if you'll get another chance to rest and have some fun during wartime. I'd rather take my chance while I can. And Lon, so I've somehow landed at the party of a royal brat. Go figure. Okay, none of them too helpful yet. Social? I can imagine how lovely this manor must have been before the war. I yearned to set up my easel in one of the pleasant little alcoves and paint to my heart's content. Well, maybe we... Oh. Aegis just showed up there out of nowhere. You're keeping track of your partner there, buddy? Okay, Darren. Darren, who has been watching the guests with an unreadable expression, turns his head to you and says in a casual tone, like he's continuing a conversation that was interrupted. I have always considered myself an aesthete, not a hero. When doomsday comes, I thought I'd pour myself a glass of 100-year-old wine, sit in the front row and just watch the world burn. Playing the violin was also an option. Now I'll be damned if I know how I ended up in the Fifth Crusade. How did I become the companion of a hero chosen by Iomedae? Perhaps this is your chance to finally do something worthwhile. What do you want me to do then? Dance a waltz on Dresden's ramparts with a charming courtesan? Sounds worthwhile to me. Tell me more about Heaven's Edge. This estate was once a truly beautiful sight, with its lush gardens and placid ponds. Darren smiles briefly. It is a genuine smile, quite different from his usual half-smirk. The house itself is not that large, however. This land was part of the border region even before the Worldwound. So my ancestors took that into account when laying the foundation. The larger the mansion, the harder it is to defend. I'd gladly give you a tour, but I'm afraid there's not much to see here. I didn't have much time, so my servants only managed to clean up this yard, the great hall, and a couple of rooms. There is nothing interesting about them except perhaps the magical firefighting system, powered by water elementals. I'm not sure it's still functional, though. We can have him give us a report. Why did you really decide to throw a party at the scene of such a tragedy? What's this ghoulish farce all about? Darren freezes. What an odd feeling. It's like I had been lying under the sun in a spectacular meadow in full bloom, And then you barge in to pour a bucket of ice-cold water all over me. Is this how you treat people who invite you to their celebrations? No, you don't have to answer. I would come up with a polite excuse, but I'd rather match your courteous manners and put it bluntly. I do not wish to continue this conversation. Thank you for ruining my mood. I shall retire to my chambers for a time. Count gives you a pointedly formal bow and leaves. Okay, fine. We got him out of there, one way or the other. Even if we made him mad. Everybody's inside now. Let Hawkblade go about his business. Return to Leoder to continue the investigation. Activate the fire suppression system to distract the Count. Okay. So we need to keep him busy a little bit longer. We come up with a way to set something on fire. Well, we got a chandelier here. Sela. Let's go. Sealed doors. Elemental essence. Okay. Does not appear to be anything else use back there. Ember. Everybody's enjoying themselves. Oh, Darren's in there. Stay there. Woljif's in here. Not into the party. What are you doing here, buddy? Just saw a portrait of Darren's mom, so she was an Aasimar too, huh? Some people get a celestial bloodline, tons of money, and a title, while others get horns and a slap in the face. I suppose you want to help set something on fire. I haven't figured out anything with the fire suppression system. Let's see if Hawkblade's here. Not doing anything yet. Maybe we need to talk to him before he starts his ritual. Okay, I see you did your part, Commander. Thank you. Now get ready to watch and listen closely. I will unravel the past of this place and try to show you whatever I find. Here he goes. The hum of voices, laughter, and music fills your mind. Then the visions come, fragmented and hazy at first, before eventually coalescing to reveal a single face. It is a woman of stunning, heavenly beauty, and her delicate features instantly tell you who she is. The family resemblance to Darren is obvious. My guests, the Lady of Heaven's Edge welcomes all of you today. I hope this day is as bright for you as it is for me, because on this day, my only, precious, sometimes arrogant, but utterly beloved child was born. A child is usually a reflection of their parents and caretakers. Countess, will you allow the humble tutor of this young man to address the guests and the man of the hour as well? A new face appears. It is a handsome old man with a strong, dignified posture and a voice that emanates power. Can't we have just one day without your sermons? It's my birthday, after all. 10 years ago, the young Darren had an utterly angelic appearance. His table manners and expression lacked the dignity of a true angel, however. Countess Selena Erinde, Day. I'm sure the revered Nestrin only wanted to hug you and offer you his best wishes on your birthday. Wait, what? What's that noise? The shrill laughter rings in your ears and reverberates in the base of your skull. In the vision, a Lilitu appears before the guests of the estate and gives them an exaggerated, scornful bow. The Sorceress of Evil has come to your celebration, mortals. Did you prepare a treat for me, too? What do you want, spawn of the abyss? I've already done everything I wanted to. Hey, you doddering cleric, look around. Don't you notice anything odd? The plague is in your wine, in your food, in the air around you, in your blood. Soon you will all die. Pray to your pathetic goddess and call upon your healing powers all you want, but they're not going to help you. Nothing will help you. I will give you a chance to see it for yourselves, and when I return, the grave realization will have already sunk its teeth into your throats. Oh, how I love watching mortals in their final desperate hours. The demon finishes her speech with an air kiss to Darren, making him freeze in horror and disappears. Leoder shakes his head and slowly exhales, rubbing his temples. The first appearance of the disease and the Lilitu, one of the many sisters of the accursed Minago. So far, everything I've seen matches the official version of events. Who were the people in the vision? Countess Selena Arendelle was Dayron's mother, and one of the most beautiful women in the history of Mendev. She was an Aasimar, just like her son. The old man is the esteemed cleric Nestrin, our count's guardian and tutor. He was well known for his unfaltering faith and iron will. I was only passing acquaintances with him, so I can't tell you anything more than that. I didn't recognize the others, but Dayron told me that the first victims of the disease were his second cousin and the cousin's wife, hailing from the eastern border. Surely the cleric could have done something. I can't say for certain, but I believe there was nothing he could have done. Magical diseases are already difficult enough to cure, and this plague struck very fast indeed. Now we must find out what happened next. But now, I can sense the aftershocks of a very strong outburst of emotions and memories somewhere in the west wing of the house. Something must have happened in one of the rooms, so please check if anyone is in there and distract them if need be. Okay, lure Dayron out of the rooms. Alright. Now maybe we have a way we can set something on fire. Get him out of there. He mentioned earlier our companions helping us with this, so I thought maybe somebody would have something here to help us. But nobody has much of anything to say. Dayron and Woljif are over on the other side. Maybe now Woljif. Alright, Woljif is hanging out in that other room. Let's go check in there again. Dayron's in there. There's Woljif. Nope. Maybe we could throw like a firebomb somewhere, I guess. Yeah, let's see what's happening in here. Maybe we can loot his room first. Engraved lucky bracers. Wow, and a trove of diamond dust. Yes, please. A couple books. I should look at those. Okay, let's talk. Dayron arches a brow at you, but he doesn't seem to be disturbed in the slightest by your entrance. He's not trying to cover up or get dressed any faster. Commander, I assume that you have an urgent matter that requires my attention. What is this room? Dayron casts a look around the room as if he had never seen it before, then shrugs carelessly. Just a random room. I told my servants to make some rooms ready. This is one of the rooms they chose. So we can try to get him to dance. Or see if Sosiel can draw a portrait of him. Okay, that's how they can help. We can put him to work. We can just tell him he should leave. He'd probably like to have a portrait of himself. A nude portrait, that is. Yeah, okay. Well, I think Sosiel and Dayron might both like this. I'm absolutely confident that you won't be able to persuade Sosiel to draw a portrait of you. A nude portrait, that is. That sounds like a fine idea. Our cleric will surely turn down a direct request, but if I tell him that we can sell the portrait at a charity auction, why have I never before thought of selling my nude portraits at a charity auction? It will cause a huge scandal, but it will also be for a good cause. This will give those god botherers, something to complain about. You've given me a brilliant idea. And he's off. Sorry, Sosiel. Okay, I see that you were able to do as I asked. Prepare yourself. This vision might be rather difficult to watch. Young Dayron stands motionless by the Countess's bed. His face is pale with fear, and for good reason. His mother's heavenly beauty is gone. Her smile, once beaming with vitality and happiness, looks more like the grimace of a corpse. Only her golden hair still glows, a sad reminder of the healthy young woman she was just a few hours ago. Mother. Can you hear me, Mother? Day, my boy, how did you get here? The Countess' voice is fading. Don't come any closer, this disease. Mother, listen. The revered Nestrin has sealed the gates. He says that he won't let anyone leave the estate. If the plague reaches the larger settlements, nobody will be able to stop it. He claims this is why the demons attacked us in the first place. They knew that we would call upon the strongest clerics to heal us, and those clerics would catch the disease and die as well. The Fat Baron and his family tried to escape, but 3 armed paladins barred their way and said they would not let them go. Mother, we need help. Canabras is full of clerics, wizards, and demons. Demons know. Who else? They might know how to stop it. We need to get there as soon as possible. We must obey the revered Nestrin. We are the lords of Mendev, and we must protect our people. If it reaches Canabras, thousands of innocent people will die. I don't care about any innocents. Daeron's voice raises to a shout. You're ill, Mother. You're dying. You must tell them to open the gates and take you to Canabras. They won't listen to me, but you are the lady of the estate. They can't refuse you. I can't. I must. Please leave, my dearest. Don't lose hope. You can still. A convulsion overtakes the Countess's body. Her last words are swallowed by a long, guttural groan. Theodor wearily rubs his temples, but his face is unreadable. Now I have an answer to one of my many questions. Nobody went to Canabras in search of help because the revered Nestrin didn't let them. He valued the safety of the city more than the lives of his flock at the estate. What a difficult choice it must have been. He made the right choice. There was no other way. I'm almost certain that Count Daeron has another opinion on this matter. A very, very strong one. Leota rubs his chin thoughtfully. I have never been in the revered Nestrin's position, but I know the price of difficult decisions, especially those that you have to make quickly. I have no right to judge him, but we must continue our investigation. The next site I'd like to examine is the Great Hall. That is where we found the remains of Nestrin and the demons. I assume that he killed them in a confrontation, but we must make sure of that. Please help me clear the area so that I can study it. Okay, now I guess we come to the fire suppression system.
That is quite a discovery.
What did we just see? Oh, it seems there's a hidden cache inside the wall, and you can see a keyhole among the decoration. Okay, is it around? Where is it? Do something with it? I don't know, that's weird. Well, let's look around out here now. Oh. They're still arguing about the painting. Stop trying to talk me into this. You have neither heart nor conscience, Daeron. Even the noble idea of charity becomes a farce when you touch it. Okay, Soso didn't like that idea. Daeron. Okay, he's not ready to talk now either. So, how do we get this going? Ember has moved. You want to help us now? No. These guys. Theodor. It's weird that this thing popped up, but we can't do anything with it. See a keyhole among the decoration.
Let us press on.
Oh, now Daeron's ready to talk. Okay. Oh there, Zeke. That Rotter Socio refused to sketch me in the nude for charity, but it didn't upset me too much. The faces he made while I was explaining the idea to him were well worth it. He looked very much like a pious matron, being confronted with a talking male organ, one that was 2 feet long and being held aloft by a pair of golden angel wings. That is an interesting image. How are you enjoying my party? Are you having a good time? I don't know, but how about you, Daeron? Are you having any fun? Of course I'm having fun, Daeron says defiantly. What's wrong? Do you want me to spend my whole life in fear and mourning, blaming myself for what happened? Fine, let's change the subject. I thought the unique ambience of Heaven's Edge and the fact that we're on the very border with the Whirlwind would make this celebration special. I thought the past would resurface and make itself known. Daron smirks bitterly. Well, it seems even ghosts don't wish to attend my parties anymore. What can we do to liven up the evening? Drinking contest. Put him to work. Take a stroll. Let's just confront him again. The more I observe you, the clearer it becomes that you're hiding something, or trying to run away from something. Oh, now I can't decide if you're talking like an inquisitor or a self-proclaimed confessor. I hate both equally, of course, and it doesn't matter if you're about to suggest that I pour my heart out to you, or make an honest confession of my misdeeds. The very thought of having such conversations makes my head hurt. I need some fresh air. Okay. He's leaving now. With everybody else, I guess, too. Okay. That journal entry said... It mentioned the fire system, so... But maybe that's not going to come into play. Here we are again, Commander. Leoder looks grim but focused. So let us take another glimpse into the past. A ripple of laughter flows through the hall. It begins as a sweet, charming chuckle, but then turns into a rasping cackle that makes Daron huddle even deeper into his corner. Why are you running from me, my sweet prince? Come on, let me touch you. I'll give you. The booming voice of an old man dressed in Iomedean robes shakes the walls of the hall. Get away from him, demon. Let the boy go. By the blade of the inheritor, you touch him only over my dead body. You are pathetic, old cleric. Are you the guardian of this charming little prince? Well, you guarded him in vain. The disease is already circulating in his blood, and soon he will rot before your very eyes. You won't be able to help him, and I can at least make sure his death is beautiful, clean, and sweet. The demoness turns her eyeless face to Daron and licks her lips. A coarse laugh escapes the young man's throat. We'll see about that. Leoder turns toward you in astonishment. Droplets of sweat glisten on his temples. Something is wrong, Commander. My spells are not working as expected. It's as if some kind of a supernatural explosion occurred here 10 years ago, blending everything together. The magical auras, the emotions, the memories. I will try again to read it. Could it be dangerous? I cannot say for certain, but it is unlikely. The past is in the past, and no one can travel through time except for some uniquely powerful entities like Aeons, or perhaps the eldest of the First World. Even though the past of this place is horrible, it poses no threat to us in the present. Okay, continue. Just give me a moment to focus. I will try to channel my visions and feelings to you as accurately as possible. Daron, my boy, what is going on? Leoder's muscular shoulders suddenly begin to shake. The vision he is channeling does not change, but you feel something enormous and chilling silently infiltrate the reality around you. The presence of this nameless being becomes almost palpable. Some alien entity is talking to him. Hurry, old cleric, stop him right now. Do you really want to see what happens when... Save me, can you save me? The presence thickens into something more tangible. The entity is silent, but you feel your blood pulsing in your temples, and each beat brings a new image, or rather a new notion. Help brings a feeling of relief and safety. Exchange makes the pulse stronger, more demanding. Gate and secret come immediately after. The images become heavier, almost visible. Secret, keep the secret. Otherwise, death, death, death. The gruesome images whirl through your mind, filling it with pain and fear, and then it all starts again. Help, exchange, secret, death. Nestrin stretches out his shaking hand, suddenly looking like a doddering old man, instead of a mighty cleric imbued with holy power. Daron, wait. The thing you're about to let loose is even worse than these demons. Daron's body is quivering like a taut bowstring. His eyes dart from the cleric to the demoness, who is frantically casting protective spells. Demons, saints, I'm so fed up with all of you. Burn. Oh. Oh boy, Hawkblade. Leoder opens his eyes with a groan and then gets back on his feet. His legs are wobbly. His eyebrow is cut, but he seems not to notice. Sincere sorrow is written on his face, as well as a strong hint of horror. What a misfortune. No, what a disaster. Everything is far worse than I imagined. Are you alright? The strain, the emotions, they overwhelmed me and made me faint like an agitated youngster. It is nothing, really. I will not be able to cast any spells for the rest of the day, but aside from that, I'm fine. Do you understand now what happened 10 years ago? The Inquisitor slowly exhales through clenched teeth and says in a low voice, still massaging his temples, yes and no. Damn it, my thoughts are astray. I will try to explain everything to you in full detail. Many living things are capable of performing the most extraordinary feats, good or bad. When a deadly threat looms over them, 10 years ago the young Count found himself cornered, in every sense of the word, and he allowed some alien entity to intercede for him. It frightens me that all my experience as an Inquisitor is completely useless in this case. It does not resemble anything I've ever heard or read about. This entity, I think I will call it the Other, possesses uncanny power. It was capable of instantly killing 3 greater demons, a mighty cleric, and a host of other mortals. You saw everything yourself. What's even worse is that this entity, this Other, is still here. The Other takes a long pause. His gaze is drawn to the chamber where all the guests are laughing and dancing. Dayron's eloquent voice rises above the music for a moment. He's asking someone to bring more wine and add more logs to the fire. I don't know what exactly this creature is, but I know what it did to the Count. It turned him into a living gateway. The Other is not inside the Count's body. It is not directly controlling his mind. That's why there are no obvious signs of possession. But it is looking through his eyes. It treats him like a window into our world, and it can instantly step through it to wreak whatever havoc it desires. Does Dayron know anything about all this? Yes, of course he does. Did you hear what the Other tried to convey to us? Help in exchange for a secret? Death? Death to those who know the truth? It wants to have an opportunity to use the Count as a gateway without anyone knowing. This is what made Dayron deny that he remembered anything about the conclusion of the events at Heaven's Edge. What might the Other want? This is the strangest thing about it all. It came to this world 10 years ago and it's still here, right? All this time it has been watching us through the eyes of the Count. Had it, for instance, wanted to kill Her Majesty the Queen, it would have had plenty of opportunities to do so. The Count can get close to practically every influential figure in Mendev, but the Other refuses to act, or its interests lie in some other sphere. Did the Other kill everyone then? The disease was not to blame? Not everyone, just Nestrin, his paladins, and the few remaining guests. Damn it. I know that it was the work of a mysterious, omnipotent entity, but it still stings. I was here 10 years ago and I didn't check everything personally, and those who did failed to sense that something was wrong. Could the Other be the reason why my companions kept finding severed heads among their belongings back in Knobris? It seems very likely. I'm almost certain you are right. People tend to lose their heads when they get too close to Count Arendae anyway. I do apologize, that was inappropriate. Perhaps your gruesome findings are the heads of some cultists who tried to kidnap the Count during the Knobris slaughter. Or perhaps they provoked the Other in some other way. Well, we need to do something. Yes, now I understand Father Nestrin perfectly. I must make a crucial decision despite a dearth of information. The Inquisitor falls silent for a while. Then he looks you right in the eye. Commander, first and foremost, I must apologize to you. Second, I must ask you to keep this secret. What are you so sorry for? I apologize for dragging you into this mess. You see, the Other, an entity of immense power, stated very clearly that it would kill anyone who found out the truth, anyone who knows that the Count is actually its living gateway. I suppose this secret is currently known to 3 people on Golarion. You, me, and Count Dayron. That means... The Other gives you a crooked smirk and shrugs. Why should I keep it a secret? As soon as the Count finds out that we know his secret, the Other will understand it as well. We do not know what it is and what exactly is the scope of its powers, but we do know that it would dispose of anyone who might reveal its existence. I've made a decision, Leoder says gravely. I will not tell anyone about the discovery we've just made, not even the Queen or my superiors. Instead, I will immediately go to Nerosian and sift through all the archives of the Inquisition, in order to find out what exactly we are dealing with, and how it can possibly be defeated. I may also make some cautious inquiries in other places, including Absalom. Still, I will not reveal the truth until I have found at least some reliable information. I'm asking you to do the same. Specifically, do not say a single word about our investigation to the Count himself. Ooh. So you want me to lead the crusade while carrying a bomb that may explode at any moment. I'm afraid that you won't be able to hide from the consequences when this bomb does explode. It's up to you to decide, though. What are you going to do with Dayron himself? At the very least, he is guilty of letting the other enter our world. Right now, I'm a lot more concerned about the other, but when we find a way to get rid of this entity, the Count will have to stand trial. Many things about this case are still unclear, including the extent of his guilt. Did he call upon the other by himself, or did he simply answer its call? Could he refuse its offer, or would it have led to his immediate death? Every detail is important, and every testimony needs solid proof. That is the difference between righteous justice and blind vengeance. Fine, we'll keep it secret. Leoder lets out a sigh of relief. You've made the right choice. You know, Commander, people say that we Inquisitors are not pack animals, that we prefer to hunt on our own. I adhered to this strategy for the better part of my life, and only today have I felt how different it is to work with a partner. You aided me in my investigation. If you allow me, I would like to give you something. Decent gear can sometimes mean the difference between life and death in our line of work. Goggles of Dreadful Judge. I recommend that you go back to the guests and spend the rest of the evening as you please. Anything else might raise suspicions. I must leave immediately, in search of the knowledge we all need so desperately. Farewell, Commander. May the light of Iomedae guide your path, and Leoder Hawkblade will try to keep your path to triumph clear of any unwanted guests. Ooh, okay. Well, now we've got a giant secret hanging over us. We're gonna need to tread carefully around Dayron. Presume. Let's check in with him. Okay. So, are we done here then? Yeah, we're appear to be done for the moment with anything to do with this. Just have to wait for more news from Hawkblade and watch our step around the Count. All right, well, that was cool. Next time, I think I'm gonna need to focus on the crusading and work on clearing our path to Dresden. I know we have a couple other areas on the map we can check out. Otherwise, we're gonna need to keep pushing ahead. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you again here with me next time. Bye-bye.